Welcome to Colorlight Designs, where we feature short stories inspired by the art and designs of Mercury McCutcheon. This artwork and short story is called Song of Cinnabar. If you like this piece, please visit Colorlight Designs link below and download your free digital print. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy the story. In a valley where mountains wore crowns of mist and the very air shimmered with magic, there lay a village called Mistwood. Hidden from the wider world by veils of fog and ancient enchantments, it was a place where reality danced with dreams, and where every stone seemed to pulse with an otherworldly melody known as the Song of Cinnabar. Mistwood was built of timber and stone, its winding paths lined with crystals that glowed like captured starlight. Wooden houses with intricate carvings climbed up the hillsides, their windows gleaming with warm golden light each evening. But what truly set the village apart was the deep crimson energy that suffused everything, an ethereal glow that intensified at sunset and dawn, painting the world in shades of fire and blood. In this realm of perpetual enchantment lived Lumielle, a young woman with hair like spun copper and eyes that held the wisdom of old souls. Her small cottage near the edge of the forest was filled with dried herbs hanging from rafters, shelves of crystal flutes, and windows that faced the exact spot where the sun painted the hills in shades of crimson each evening. Lumielle had always been drawn to the color red in all its manifestations, from the blazing sunsets that set the clouds aflame to the mysterious cinnabar flowers that bloomed only under starlight. But what captivated her most was the Song of Cinnabar, a melody as old as the hills themselves, said to hold the power to heal hearts, change seasons, and awaken ancient spirits. The village elders could hum fragments of the song, their voices carrying centuries of memory. Lumielle had spent countless hours with them, sitting by crackling hearths as they shared what they remembered of the melody. She'd tried to capture the notes on every instrument she owned, crystal flutes, wooden pipes, silver whistles, yet something was always missing, a certain resonance that seemed to exist between the notes, in spaces her music couldn't quite reach. She'd almost convinced herself that the Song of Cinnabar was just another legend, like the stories of dancing lights in the deep forest or the guardian spirits that were said to watch over Mistwood. But everything changed on the night of the blood moon. The moon that evening hung low and heavy, bathing Mistwood in an otherworldly crimson glow that made even the most practical villagers pause in wonder. The light seemed almost liquid, pooling in the streets and seeping under doors. In Lumielle's cottage, her collection of cinnabar flowers began to pulse with an inner light, their petals swaying to an invisible breeze despite the closed windows. Unable to sleep and feeling drawn by something she couldn't name, Lumielle wrapped herself in a shawl and stepped out into the strange night. The usually quiet streets of Mistwood hummed with energy, and the crystals that lined the paths pulsed in rhythm with the crimson light that filled the air. As she walked past the village's edge and into the surrounding fields, the world seemed to shift and change around her. The air grew thick with that crimson light, and Lumielle felt as though she was walking through layers of silk, each step bringing her closer to something she'd been searching for all her life. At the boundary where tended gardens met wild growth, she saw her, a woman who seemed to be made of living light, her red cloak adorned with symbols that shifted and changed like falling leaves, ancient and alive. The woman's presence felt like a tear in the fabric of reality, a glimpse into a realm beyond mortal understanding. "Memory isn't about holding on to the past," the woman said, her voice carrying the quality of wind through ancient caves. "It's about awakening what has always lived within you." Before Lumielle could respond, the woman began to hum. The sound bypassed her ears entirely, resonating directly with something deep in her soul. It was as if every fiber of her being recognized the melody, like remembering a dream you never knew you had. Lumielle closed her eyes, surrendering to the song, and suddenly she was everywhere and everyone at once. She saw Mistwood as it had been through the ages, watched as generations lived and loved and dreamed beneath these same stars, saw how the song had woven through it all, unchanging yet constantly evolving, like a river that remained the same despite its ever-flowing waters. When she opened her eyes, the woman was gone. In her place lay a single red feather that seemed to glow from within, its surface shimmering with patterns that reminded Lumielle of the way moonlight danced on water. As she picked it up, the song that had always eluded her finally crystallized in her mind, clear as morning dew. Running back to her cottage, she grabbed her favorite crystal flute, the one that had always sung truest. Standing in her garden under that blood-red moon, she began to play. The Song of Cinnabar flowed through her like starlight through glass, each note perfectly aligned with the rhythm of the universe. Throughout Mistwood, people emerged from their homes, drawn by a force older than time itself. They gathered in the streets, their faces lit by that supernatural crimson glow, as Lumielle's music wove past and present into something entirely new. The hills themselves seemed to respond, their outlines shifting like clouds in the wind. The cinnabar flowers bloomed out of season, their petals glowing like captured flame. For the first time in generations, the Song of Cinnabar rang out in its entirety, bridging the gap between earth and sky, between what was forgotten and what was waiting to be remembered. As the final note faded into the night, Mistwood fell silent save for the soft sighing of the wind. But something had fundamentally changed. The Song of Cinnabar had been reborn, awakened from its long slumber while retaining its ancient power. It lived now not just in the air and earth, but in the hearts of all who had heard it, a flame passed from soul to soul. Lumielle continued to play her flute under starlight, sharing the song with any who wished to learn. She had discovered what the mysterious woman meant. The Song of Cinnabar wasn't just a melody to be captured and preserved, but a living force that existed in the space between heartbeats, waiting for those who knew how to remember. And so the story of the Song of Cinnabar spread, shared around hearth fires and whispered beneath stars, its crimson glow touching hearts and awakening dreams. For as long as there were those who could remember, whether through music or magic or the simple act of believing, the song would continue. A bridge between worlds, a reminder that some melodies never truly fade, they just wait to be remembered again. The end. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the story. Don't forget to stop by colorlightdesigns.com and grab your free digital print.